So today's the day that rust from behind the driver's seat on that floor pan is going away. I don't care how I gotta go about it, it's gotta get done. Progress has gotta be made because that's just holding us back. It's just eating away at the car. Next thing you know, I'm gonna have to figure out who makes a floor pan that I could weld in. So before we even get anywhere near that, let's go ahead and eliminate the rust. The removal method that I'll be using may be a little bit aggressive, but at this point, I need to do something because it's just gonna get out of hand. It's gonna get to the point where I'm gonna have to look up a floor pan replacement. And I really don't want to let the car get to that. I think it's better to just go ahead and do something about it now, even though it might be a little over the top. Something has to be done in order to save the existing floor. I'm gonna go ahead and use some discs that I got from the store. They're flat discs that go on that little electric gizmo that I got, but it's gonna get rid of all the rust. And I'll be able to put some WD-40 on it, just like I did here, and it will never rust. And I'll be able to leave it until it's time for me to prep it for paint. These little green discs are really good, but the problem is that rust is so advanced, and I've talked about this ad nauseum. It's just bad. So I'm gonna be using like a flat disc that goes onto that tool. So let's save this floor. So that's all the corrosion. It's done. I've got the flap wheel. It was a very aggressive method, but I had to get that top rust out of there. I had to get that deep pitting pretty much gone. There is a little bit of oxidization inside of the pitting, but it's not all the way through like it is on these spots. I was saying the pitting is pretty much gone. The good news is that it's not as bad as it was over here, even though that looked horrible. It's what's underneath that you can't see that you gotta worry about. So with all that corrosion being gone, the good news is I can go ahead and spray that down with some WD-40 after I do a quick vacuum of the car and clean this up a little bit. Spray that down with WD-40 and it'll be ready for paint. Or I can go ahead and paint it now. What I would rather do is not paint it, because when it comes time for cage, I'm gonna have to take that paint off anyway. So either I can spray it with WD-40 once a week and keep that up because it doesn't cost anything, or I can spray it with some paint, take the paint off, put it back on. So I'd rather just use WD-40. It's cheap and easy. Yeah, tell my city. All right, so here's a close-up look of the metal after the corrosion's been removed. There's a little bit of pitting and whatnot. That little spot right there by that drain hole is just a body putty that GM put. But like I said, there's a little bit of rust in the pitting, but I have that rust converter. It's gonna convert it, but man, that looks a ton better. Whole lot better. I got a little spot repair to do there between the two channels, but I mean, that little spot there, I mean, that's easy. I can do that with a little Dremel. I wanted to get the big stuff done because it was looking really bad. So there you go. It's completely done. So it just needs to be sprayed down with some WD-40. After I clean all this up, because I mean, it's a really bad mess. All right, so I've got the back doors open to let some fresh air in here. And now you can see where everything is vacuumed up, all nice. Everything's cleaned up. Man, I can't wait for that firewall to get done. You know, this car would be an excellent candidate for a transmission tunnel sheet metal job. Since it's gonna have a sheet metal, you know, firewall look or whatever, I might as well just go ahead and do the tunnel because I got that big old hole there. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get that on the way sooner rather than later, because if I'm gonna do that one, then I need to do that one. If I'm gonna do that one, then I need to make sure that one's done. So it's kind of like one's connected to the other, you know what I'm saying? But this is all cleaned up. ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray it down with WD-40. So this basically is just gonna go on like so. Real easy application, just spray it on. It's okay if it's excessive, you know, because WD-40 is cheap, doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Heck, you can put on stuff that you don't want to rust, that's already rusting, you know, whatever. It'll keep it from rusting even more. So spray it on whatever you want. Those spots over there, hey, no problem. This is water displacement 40, man. NASA made this up. If you didn't know about the story about that, you should look that up sometime. It's pretty cool story there. But yeah, check that out. Ready to rock. A little bit more than too much is all right. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather safe than sorry after that debacle. How come every time I clean this, like the very day that I clean this spot, within 24 hours, it's a madhouse. So let me explain myself. This disaster happened within 24 hours of me cleaning it. And the reason why is because I went fishing, took the family fishing on a weekend trip, and I needed to make some sand spikes for my fishing poles, so that way when I set them on the beach, they don't fall over. And it's cheaper to go to just Lowe's and buy PVC, Schedule 40, you know, and make it yourself. But man, I had a blast. I went with my friend Alberto, who has Amelia Island land-based charter, which I'll put it on the screen here. It's an Instagram account. If you go to it, you can actually see his website, book, and reach out to him. He does what's basically like shark fishing, but on land. It's pretty cool, man. You don't have to get on a boat. If you're motion sickness and all that stuff, you don't have to worry about it. But he has a drone, flies the bait out. They take it mad far out and drop it off. He's got all the gear, all the rigs, all the fishing poles, the big reels and all that. So, I mean, he's got it all. And he's good people too. He's a race car guy too. So if you're into cars, which you are, because that's why you're here, and you like fishing, and you're in the area, I definitely would hit him up. Again, it should be in the screen here. Amelia Island land-based charter. Yeah, bingo, hit him up. So, floor's done. Let's go update our hustle board. Remember, always gotta update the hustle board. Let's see what color is gonna be today. Yellow, dirty yellow. Remove rust from floor pans. You know, I'm about that. Goal completion. I'm with that. Let's get rid of that. Done. Mount TV. Yeah. Pause on sound editing material. I never got a call back from the place with the dry ice, so I'm just gonna have to find somewhere and just order it so I can get rid of it. But hustle board is coming in clutch, man. That hustle board is definitely working for me. So now, what's the next step? You know, I definitely want to fabricate some type of transmission crossmember thing. And when I was moving this car, I lost the torque arm when I was towing it. I don't know what happened. I had the torque arm on the car. I didn't have the cross member or whatever, but I mean, it was on the diff, on the rear end. And I guess because I didn't have any bolts in, but man, it was like friction fit. I didn't think it was coming off for nothing. But I bet you what happened was when I hit that deer and the truck basically launched over that big old deer and the trailer came over it, I'm pretty sure that's where it went bye-bye. Since I don't have that torque arm because it was the BMR Extreme Duty, whatever it is, I mean, they don't even make it anymore. It was that beefy. It was straight up chromoly and all that. They have a different version of it now that doesn't weigh as much. But since I don't have that, and I have this bar where it was supposed to mount to or whatever, this goes welded in from, let me get it out here so you can see it. I'll set it on the ground here. So this bar is supposed to go from subframe connector to subframe connector from end to end. And then the torque arm is supposed to mount here onto this bushing with some plates that it came with. And then the drive shaft is got a little loop there. But I'm like, well, dang, that's got a nice little loop there. I could just move this way forward, right? And just use this chromoly tubing or whatever to make a transmission crossmember. So ideally what I would like to do is figure out something for the transmission mount. You know, even if I have to make something myself or buy something and modify it, because I still have my welder over there in the corner, still got it. So so I could weld something up and, you know, fab something up real quick, even if it's just a little piece. So that needs to get done. And on top of that, again, I need to clean the shop because I bought a grill, it's a charcoal, you know, grill on the beach and whatnot. And it was just like a last minute thrash to go on a vacation dash for the weekend. So I'm gonna clean all this up so I can start using that. But for sure, that needs to get cleaned up. So I'm not gonna like sit here and clean it again and again and again. I'm sure you guys have been baptized into cleaning, so you're good, you're certified on the cleaning process. But yeah, there we go. All the rust is done, it's all gone, so it's prepped and ready to go. So with the rust being gone, I feel so much better because that was something that I've been trying to accomplish for a long, long time. I mean, that's, well, it's been a month since I've seen it and like been like, okay, I need to do something about it, and it's been on the hustle board. So now that it's gone, hustle board has helped me stay on track. I can move on to other things. With that being said, if you're enjoying the videos, make sure you hit the like button. It definitely helps the channel grow. Make sure you hit the subscribe button with the notifications set to all so you don't miss another video Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 o'clock. Till then, we'll see you next time.